A new report by Americans for Tax Fairness highlights how the profits of America's billionaires have only increased so significantly that if every single one of them gave every single American a direct stimulus check, they would still be better off today than they were before the pandemic. Here's what we know from this study. America's 651 billionaires have gained so much wealth during the coronavirus pandemic that they could fully pay for one-time $3,000 stimulus checks for every person in the United States and still be better off than they were before the crisis. $3,000 stimulus checks. The collective net worth of the United States billionaires now sits at above $4 trillion, nearly double the combined wealth owned by the bottom 50% of the American population. And as the executive director for Americans for Tax Fairness states, never before has America seen such an accumulation of wealth in so few hands. As tens of millions of Americans suffer from the health and economic ravages of this pandemic, a few hundred billionaires add to their massive fortunes. Their pandemic profits are so immense that America's billionaires could pay for a major COVID relief bill and still not lose a dime of their pre-virus riches.
So I have two things to say about this. Number one, I just want to give you a sense of the size of it. Half the country is about 170 million people. So a handful of folks have twice as much money as 170 million Americans. Now, they talk about, oh yeah, well, what do you want to do? Class warfare? No, they already did the class warfare. Reagan cut taxes on the rich. George W. Bush cut taxes on the rich. Trump cut taxes on the rich. Obama made the Bush tax cuts permanent. So that's how the system works. You pass laws, it has an effect. If you pass Medicare for all, everyone in the country would get free healthcare. Well, you don't pass it, 45,000 people a year die because they don't have healthcare. That number is now much, much higher because of coronavirus. So people die when you don't pass the right laws. You pass laws that say, let's give the rich another tax cut, they have more billions of dollars. So it's not an accident. It was our corrupt government, both Republicans and Democrats, that set up the system where they robbed us blind, let alone the deregulation, let alone the monopolies and all the things that they did to accumulate that wealth. So I've said it 1,000 times on this show. I don't begrudge rich people at all. And there's tons of different kinds of rich folks. There are doctors who work super hard. There's entrepreneurs, there's athletes, there's Oprah. They didn't do anything wrong. But the donor class that knows that politicians fix the rules on their behalf, well, they actively did rob you. They just did. And so now no one in the media will tell you that because they're their advertisers. They love the status quo. And by the way, the media is multi-billion-dollar corporations. If it's your boat, you don't want that boat rocked. So that's just the reality of it. Now, the second part of it is, guys, I'm even gonna call the billionaires stupid. Why? Because greed is the dumbest human emotion. If you already have, like you're the Koch brothers, you already have over $40 billion. What good does the $41st billion do? Nothing. There's no way in the world you can spend that $40 billion. But no, you risk, by the way, social calamity and chaos. You risk pitchforks, you risk destruction of the economy where you would lose so much more money. You risk all of that because of your infinite greed. Well, I'm number 7 on the Forbes 400 list, and I really want to be in the top 5. And so because of that, and I want to measure certain body parts against other rich people, my greed, I'm gonna crush all the rest of Americans until they elect a madman because they're so angry and the media lied to them, so they don't really know what the real cause is. So they'll think, I don't know, maybe it's the Mexicans or Soros or lizard people or Tom Hanks. So I'm in a rage. I'm gonna elect an idiot, a deranged madman like Donald Trump. And then as the country crumbles around them, they go, oh, good, opportunity to grab even more money. There's no end to their greed, and they're gonna destroy themselves as well as the rest of us.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.